Hey mate, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Good. Hey, thanks for coming in.
All good.
Letting me take some photos and share your story. So why don't you let everyone know who you are and what you do?
Yep, well, I'm Jasper. I go to music industry college. I'm the lead singer of a band called Maniakal. We're a metal band, you can find us on Instagram.
Yeah. Is there anything special about the way we spell Maniakal?
There's a K instead of a C.
Yeah. Yeah. So not a C, it's a K.
Yeah.
Maniakal. What kind of music?
Well, it's metal. I guess metalcore, sort of new metal influence in it.
Yeah. Bit of screaming?
Bit of screaming, yeah.
Yeah. You do that, hey?
I do, yeah.
Yeah. It's not because you're angry.
It's because I'm angry.
It is because you're angry.
Yeah.
All right. Hey mate, this whole series, graphic novels, and I think I might have told you this before, but anyway, you're the inspiration for it. Because remember when you were on camp and you were having a bit of a meltdown last year? And I was kind of talking to you and you were going around a loop and you're kind of angry about the same thing over and over again. And I was trying to calm you down. And I'm like, how can I calm this kid down? Like, you know, you'd only been at the school for 6 months, so I didn't know you that well. And I'm like, well, let's ask him about his tats. And I started asking you about your tats, and you talked to me about one that's like the demon's name, and talked about this one and that one. I'm like, cool. And then you kind of calmed down a bit, got to a point where I felt like, okay, I can send him off to bed now, he'll be okay, I'll go to bed. And I woke up the next morning and I went, Jasper's a graphic novel. Because your story is actually on your skin. And to me, that's like graphic novel, like you're telling your story through your skin. And so yeah, thanks for that. You're the inspiration for this whole project.
It's an honour. Thank you.
That's all right, mate.
Thank you for calming me down as well.
Yeah, well, that's my job. Really.
Yeah, that is your job.
You know, that's my job. So let's talk about your tats then. Let's start with the one about, you know, Ashma.
Ashma, yeah.
Yeah, let's talk about that one.
Yeah, well, Ashma is tattooed here on my wrist.
Yeah.
It's the name of one of the first full songs I had written.
Yeah.
I named it Ashma because it was about a kid who was struggling in life and he's praying to God. God doesn't answer the kid, but instead this demon does. And this demon happened to be Ashma. And I believe it's the demon of wrath and rage and fury. I think there's 7.
Okay.
You know, there's like Beelzebub, which is loathing and stuff. But anyway, Ashma answers and does what the kid wants. You know, the kid wants help. He feels so horrible. But unfortunately, he helps the kid by taking away all of his emotions. You know, which gets rid of the pain, but also strips him of the ability to love and feel. But really, the whole song's kind of was a metaphor for me going to primary school. I went to a Catholic school called St. Mary's Primary School.
Yeah.
And I was bullied pretty bad from prep to whenever I left that school, year 5 or something.
Right.
I would actually help a lot, and the teachers were all, you know, Catholic, very religious, and they'd tell me, you know what helps? You know, praying to God, talking to God. God will help you. So I would, and it didn't really do much for me. I don't know about other people, but and the demon that strips his kid of emotions was really just the emotional trauma I had from being bullied and trying to find a way to cope with all the torment, and that was just kind of be straight-faced all the time.
Yeah.
Which that's what the song's about.
Okay. So thoughts and prayers didn't help, huh?
Nah.
Okay.
Not me.
So what was your first tattoo? Because that wasn't your first, was it?
No, it wasn't. My first tattoo is a little sad face on the inside of my ankle.
Right, okay.
Yeah. But after that would have probably been, it would have been Cruel, which is my last name, my stage last name.
Yeah.
And then would have been the 555666.
Yeah, well, that's interesting to me. I've seen, you know, we'll talk about Cruel in a minute because that isn't his real last name, but we're not going to tell you what that is. But the 555666, like I get the 666, that's the devil's number. The 555 is like, you know, is that the bus line that you catch to school?
No, it's not the bus line. Yeah, 555666. I decided to tattoo on myself because it's the chorus of a Slipknot song called Heretic Anthem on the album Iowa, which was their second album after they blew up from their debut album. They were having people from record labels come and check them out and stuff, and they weren't, fans of it. There was even a Sony executive or whatever who said, if this was the future of music, I don't want to be in it, or I don't want to be alive.
Right, okay.
Something like that, because, they were very different for the time. Very, I guess, not offensive, but...
Bit scary.
That was scary, yeah. They still are scary.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, they had people asking them to make it more catchier, more pop sort of music. And because it's Slipknot, they pretty much went, well, fuck you, we're going to do what we like. And their way of being like, well, here's your repetitive pop sort of influence, was to make the chorus, if you're 555, then I'm 666. What's it like to be a heretic? And the 555, I think, was just their way of being like, well, you guys are men, well, we're the devil or whatever.
Yeah.
But I just valued their integrity and their creative.
Okay.
What music means to them. Like. Yeah.
Cool. I'm glad I understand it now. Hey, you've got a lot of small tats, and I used to say to you often, they're stick and pokes, they're jail tats, but you tell me no, you've done them with a gun.
Yeah.
So you've done most of your own tattoos, hey?
Yeah. Otherwise, they were all with the same gun, but was someone else doing it on me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we got Cruel. That's your stage name. We've got Ashma, 555666.
Yep.
There's a lot of other ones there that are quite sad or dark and emotional. You've got sad written here on your right wrist, and then you've got a heart in a skeleton's fingers and it's dripping blood and falling apart.
Yep.
And on the other side you've got some stuff as well, like lost. Yeah, can you tell me about some of those?
Well, a lot of the tattoos are quite grim. They're quite sad, or I've got a tattoo of a razor blade on my arm here. And I do have sad. A lot of the tattoos are like that. They all kind of represent or reflect my mental health, at least at the time.
Yeah.
As you said, I have a tattoo gun. I decided to tattoo myself when I wasn't even 17 yet. I was 16 to 17. And on a whim. But then I realized that tattooing myself was a very therapeutic thing. It was quite a healthy release, at least to me. I certainly don't recommend to any children to tattoo themselves.
Yeah.
You get a lot of looks, especially if you look like a child.
So is it kind of like self-harm?
Yeah.
Like people self-harm themselves because they've got this emotional pain, but they want to feel it for real?
Well, is
that kind of like for you?
Well, yeah, there's multiple reasons why someone would self-harm, not just to feel pain, but maybe as a distraction or to visualize the pain. I guess it was a way to visualize it as well as feel pain.
Yeah.
But it wasn't, destructive.
Yeah, okay.
There are certainly tattoos, I've had tattoos burn here, which are towards complementing these burn scars I have on myself.
Yeah, you've got a lot of circles here on the...
Yeah, which was my way of self-harm for a bit. And that was kind of, to me, was kind of comedic, it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
But also it was kind of to have, fuck off tattooed on my finger. It was kind of a bit of a self-destructive thing as well.
Fuck off?
Yeah, I think I did do that. I did see my girlfriend the next day and I was like, look, it's funny, fuck off. She wasn't amused.
I bet she wasn't.
No. But yeah, my tattoos, I started tattooing myself as a release, as a way to stop self-harming, and I did. Okay.
Tell me about I Have Issues.
I Have Issues is a Korn thing. I don't know if it's on an album cover or something, or a shirt. I had a shirt, a Korn shirt, which was that font, and just said I Had Issues. It was the black shirt that said Korn on the sleeve and said I Had Issues. And I wore that to school at the time.
So you tattooed that on your arm?
Yeah.
Putting it out there?
Yeah.
Just letting people know.
Just being honest.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
The Grim Reaper.
The Grim Reaper.
That's very dark.
Yeah. It's actually the one with a stupid backstory on surface level, but I think it does say a lot about me. The Grim Reaper, I had gone to my now ex-girlfriend's house, but I'd gone to hers, and I was like, what tattoo should I get today? She was like, oh, I had a dream you got a Grim Reaper tattoo. And so we just went and looked at Grim Reaper tattoos and traced one, tattooed it on me.
Right.
And I was like, cool. Super, what's it called?
Spontaneous?
Spontaneous. It's, I'm looking for a word. I forget the word.
I don't know. I don't know which one you're looking for.
No, you're right.
Cathartic?
I don't even know what that means.
Well, get your feelings out onto, like, you know, when people go to football matches, they scream at the referee because they're angry about their life.
It's way stupider. Well, I got this tattoo just on an impulse.
An impulse.
Impulse.
Okay, fair enough.
Which, you know, sucks to kind of be like, oh, this tattoo was just kind of impulsive. But I think it is a great example of what I used to struggle with a lot, not so much now. I have problems with mood swings, that can lead me to being quite impulsive.
Yeah, okay.
Have impulsive behaviour. It's something I struggled with a lot. And
Yeah.
I think it's good to just, like, it's just a thing to be like, oh yeah, I struggle with impulsivity, or I struggle with being impulsive.
Okay. Just kind of a reminder of that.
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay. Tell me about the one on your collarbone, because we've talked about that before, and that probably your most significant tattoo, I would say.
Yeah, for sure. It's the one I have the most emotional attachment to. The one on my collarbone, actually, it says, guess what?
Yeah.
It's in cursive handwriting. It's actually my grandmother's handwriting.
Yeah.
I think about 10 months ago, or maybe up to 12 months ago, I went over to hers, as I do, to go check on her, and asked her to trace guess what in her handwriting. Then I got it tattooed onto me by my ex-girlfriend. But the reason I did that was because when I was very young, like 3, 4, 5, 6,
Yeah.
My parents would have work, so they'd drop me at my nana's, and she had all the patience in the world for me. She'd play with me all the time, even though she was pretty old. She is pretty old.
Yeah.
She always had like the energy for me.
Right.
And so much love. And she would say this thing quite often. She'd say, she'd go, oh, guess what? And even though I would know what she's about to say, because she said it all the time, I'd say, what? And she'd go, I love you this much. And then I'd say, well, I love you this much. And then we'd keep one-upping each other. And it's a memory I really value. And I thought I'd get that as something that's forever on me to remember, especially now because she's got Alzheimer's that's rapidly getting worse.
Yeah.
But yeah, when I was a kid, dude, I used to, like, on the weekends after school, I'd be like, hey mum, can I go have a sleepover at Nana's?
Yeah.
And I would.
Yeah.
Like going to my mate's house, I'd go have a sleepover at her house. But yeah, she's awesome.
Yeah, I can understand why that means a lot to you.
Yeah.
That's great. Hey, look, I'm a complete clean skin.
You are,
So it's a bit odd that, you know, this dude's doing a series about people with tattoos, but that's okay. Ask everyone this question. It's the last question I ask. If I were to get a tattoo, what would you recommend Brett gets or thinks about for his first tattoo?
I think you'd look good with a fire truck.
Right.
No. You know, I think it should be something meaningful to you.
Okay.
Something meaningful. You know, maybe a design drawn by someone you care about.
Okay. Yep.
Something that represents stuff that means a lot to you.
Okay.
Or don't get one.
Well, that's the other option.
Yeah. There's beauty in tattoos as well as not having any tattoos.
Yeah, it's interesting. I remember once, this is way back in the 90s, maybe even in the late 80s when I was teaching at a different school. A kid got a tattoo and, you know, someone was giving him a hard time about it. He said to me, Brett, you know the difference between people with tattoos and people without? I went, no. He goes, people with tattoos don't care that you don't have one.
Yeah.
I thought that's pretty cool.
You also, if you're going to get tattoos, or if you're gonna get tattoos like me, like I haven't met too many people with tattoos like me.
No. You've got a bunch of little small things, yeah.
Yeah, you've gotta have thicker skin, and you've gotta be doing it only for you.
Yeah.
You know, only for you, which is what these tattoos were.
Yeah.
They mean so much to me. I couldn't imagine getting rid of them.
Yeah, okay. So you're not planning to cover up, you know?
Oh, I might cover
blend
them up.
them in,
I might
you know?
blend them in or cover them up, but you know, they mean a lot to me.
Okay.
Definitely this one.
Yeah, I can imagine. Hey, look, thanks for sitting with me.
Thank you.
Thanks for having a chat. I really appreciate it. And yeah, look, I mean, obviously, I'm keen to see what else you do, you know, with your tattoos. But you know, I'm just keener to see you grow up and reach your potential.
Thank you.
No worries. All right, look, we turn these off the same way.